Hey guys, Deadshot here, and I am back to talk about yet another tier list of Borderlands, and this one will be taking place in the third game. Yes, a tier list of the Vault Hunters, and what I think about is best about every single one of them. Now, I do want to preface that this game is extremely easy to break, and in fact, I do not think a single one of the Vault Hunters is straight up bad. Every single one of them is crazy in their own unique ways, and that's why the speedrunning leaderboards and the endgame build guides are so vast. Now, personally, the builds I will be showcasing are some of the best used by speedrunners, and my goal is to showcase what is possible and ranking the absolute peak of each Vault Hunter. So, I'll be ranking them in 4 categories this time, with speed, damage, survivability, and consistency, in order to help justify what makes every single character so good in the endgame. So, without further ado, let's start off with ranking the first character. Now, I do want to preface with this next section with the statement that while speedrun times are cool, and this character is the master of the speedrun meta, that does not come without flaws. And of course, the character I'll be talking about is Flak. His rack attack build and combination with the Flish Slap are absolutely nuts, tearing apart mobbing and bossing alike in record times, and that is what makes Flak so great. His ridiculous damage, AoEs, up times with his DPS, I mean, they're just ridiculous. I mean, easily he's an S tier in damage. And it's not like Zero with Borderlands. They auto-aim, so you always have something. You can throw out racks and have them regen grenades with the Anoint. So your damage is just always there. And next up, with the only 2 flaws that Flak does have, survivability. This character can die a lot, and unfortunately, if you do not have a rack about to hit something, or a fish slap about to bounce something, it can take you a bit to get a revive. And in combination with that, your healing with Flak is just not that great. He can often find himself downing, if not killing things, the moment they spawn in, which is, I'm not gonna lie, he is really good at doing that, but like, the survivability is always something you're gonna be like dueling with when you're playing Flak. Now, there's one thing that does save you. Pet Revive. Who saved who is probably one of the best skills in the game, making it so that not only with all of the insane health regeneration that your pet gets, making sure that he's always alive, you can just be saved from any time you make a mistake. And speaking of mistakes, let's talk about speed. See, the reason why I'm ranking this in BL3 and not 2 is because this game is very easy. So doing stuff fast is a lot more important than it is doing it in Borderlands 2. And frankly, with all the characters, you can fix a speed, but Flak, he doesn't handle it too well. I mean, there is methods of increasing your speed, but like for the speed runs, when they use them, I'm not gonna lie, like I've tried out some of the speed Flak builds, they just don't work as well for me. So this character, well, he's amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's really hard to rank the characters in this game. So if you want to play any of these characters and you're watching this tier list, like I want to play the best. No, this is literally just comes down to which build is your favorite. But personally, Flak is the worst for me, mainly because of those, and also because I find every other character to be better. So, of course, next on up will be, yeah, I bet you didn't expect this one coming. A lot of people just think Moze is a lot better than she actually is. Like, honestly, I get the hype. Moze is really good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, some people will tell you, like, all you really need is Fire in the Skag Den, which I do think is kind of true. But, like, in the end game, she kind of, I mean, it's hard to say, because, like, she can easily deal with everything. Like, don't get me wrong. But just not as fast as everything else. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Moze is, like, kind of slow. Like, her damage takes, like, a long time to ramp up. She doesn't die ever. I mean, you have that one skill that makes it so when you're running, you have life regen. So, like, it's not like you're dying on Moze, but, like, things just die slow. And, like, while that wouldn't, like, be a problem if this was any other game, Borderlands 3 is just such, like, a fast-paced game that when you have a character like Moze who like sits there and like spams explosions, and it takes forever. So going into like the ranking side of things, damage, survivability, easy S tier. She has tons of damage and it's really easy to use, but speed is probably the only character I would rank in B tier, which I mean, obviously it's getting a little bit into the spoiler category, but she is just not very fast. And then consistency is also an easy S tier. It's kind of like the opposite of Flak, where while yes, she is more flawed in the speed department is probably one of the least important ones to me. So I will say she's better than Flak, but the gap is not that big, and it really becomes obvious like as you play her. Like, she is very great at everything besides just doing it fast. It's legitimately the only flaw that Moze has, but I think the next two characters, when played appropriately, just don't have nearly that much of a flaw as Moze does with her speed. And the character that people seriously do not like, and I don't get it, Amara. I mean, let's clear up some misconceptions about her. First of all, she's not just a mobbing character. I mean, face flare and a fish slap, you can legitimately just one-tap bosses. Like, it's kind of crazy. And then obviously for mobbing, I mean, she has basically infinite health regen as long as she's using anything like a face puncher or any of those guns that shoot melee damage. So like, I don't really understand it. So going down and dirty with it, her health regen is amazing. Definitely an S tier. Probably the most regenerative character in their base kit, so easy to place her there. Next up, damage. I mean, for mobbing and not mobbing, like, dude, for mobbing, you could just phase lock something, shoot it once, the face puncher, everything around it's dead. So, like, and then obviously you have bossing, which face flare is nuts. And while it does have a long cooldown, like, it just depends on how many, like, health bars the enemy has, essentially. Like, if it only has one, face flare is one-shotting it. If it has two, you have to wait a while for face flare. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of hard not to put her in S2. Like, realistically, if you know what you're doing with Moze or Amara, you should be, like, one-tapping, like, almost everything. And then consistency, I don't know what to say, but S tier. I mean, she's got a ton of control over the battlefield, tons of healing, tons of damage, and it just all happens, like, every single time. Like, she doesn't deal a shit ton of splash damage to one-shot herself. Like, I really don't understand. Like, I feel like most people who think Moze is bad have either not played a, like, proper melee build or just haven't played her at all, because she's great at everything besides one category, and that's speed. Amara's speed is, like, it's okay and it can be fixed, but like, she is the lowest speedrun time for almost every character, and it's kind of obvious to see why. So as much as I do love Amara, she does have one flaw, and that is why there's one character in this game who doesn't. And I mean, come on guys, it's just Zane. Like, really, this guy is like Salvador if they just fix Salvador's one issue. It's the fact that he doesn't have healing in his skill tree. But guess what they gave Zane? Healing in his skill tree. Activatable at any point in time. Just fire the Mantis Cannon and boom, you're immortal. You have insane one-shot damage, although I will mention that he doesn't do nearly as much damage as everyone else on the list. But like, it's still enough to like one-shot any boss, because like, while Zane can use the fish slap, he's not like a super meta abuser of the fish slap like, you know, Amara and Flak. And then Moze just use the Lucky 7 and run around just blasting things at the speed of sound. So yeah, I mean, Zane, easy S tier in damage. And that's also one of the interesting things, is unlike all the other characters, Zane's builds are unique. Like, using like the Creamer with Eraser and just like firing a single shot, swapping to the Guardian Angel, and wiping out an entire field worth of enemies is just the most hilarious interactions I've ever seen. Of course, survivability. I mean, there's nothing I can place this in other than S tier. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Zane literally has more healing than Amara, and that's impressive. Like, he has an on-demand, like, damage-based healing that he can just click a button, and everything in the field is healing him trillions of health. It's so broken. Consistency, I mean, I don't know what to say. you can literally just slide, fire once, and you don't even have to see an enemy to kill it. Your explosions are the size of like Venus. So like, yeah, it's pretty damn consistent to not even have to look at your enemies to kill them. Finally, I mean, come on. He literally has a skill called Violent Momentum. Zane is so fast that he literally invented the one slide map meta, where people were sliding through entire fucking maps with a single relic. Like, are you joking? This character is so stupid. Like, he literally changes what it means to play Borderlands 3. And it's so funny. Like, if you have not played Zane, this is like peak Borderlands 3. It's literally like playing Salvador in Borderlands 2. Like, you have not played what it like, you just don't know what it feels like to play like the just most ridiculous top level of Borderlands 3 if you have not played Zane. So that was my Borderlands 3 Vault Hunter tier list, and I know I definitely didn't make everyone happy because I didn't, you know, spread out the, I think, Amara and then Flak and then Moze and then Zane that everyone else does in their tier list. But hey, it's different. I've had a lot of experience with this game, almost as much as Borderlands 2, and I know I made a lot of people angry with my 0 choice back then. So hey, for all of you, actually wait, I just realized I did put Flak in the lowest position and he emulates 0 a lot. But hey, in this game, the difference between the last place character and the first place character is so minimal that, like, go look at the speedrun times. I mean, I'll link the official Google Doc for it in the in the description. Just take a glance at it. Literally every character is good at something. Like, there's every character has a world record time in almost every single category. I think besides Amara. I don't know if Amara does. I might be wrong about that. But it's really a testament to, in this game, like, just, if you want to, like, emulate my builds, I'll link, you know, stuff to them. I'll give you, like, screenshots and all of that in the comments. This is what I genuinely believe is, like, some of the best builds for each character. At the end of the day, if you watch this tier list and you're trying to decide which character to play, just play whichever one looks most fun, because I can promise you that each one of them will do absolutely amazing in the end game. And that's the reason why this game isn't solved to this day. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on which game or which character's build is best and all of that, but I've kind of just given up on arguing with people because they pretty much never agree with me, and I just use what the speedrunners use because they know a lot more about the game than us. Anyways, I hope all of you have a great time. It's been a while since I uploaded my last Borderlands video, so if this is something you like to see, maybe you want to see me rank like weapons or the pre-sequel Vault Hunters, which is a whole nother bag of worms. Haven't played pre-sequel in a while, so I'll have to play a lot of that beforehand, but if that is something you're interested in, comment it. Or if you hate my guts and think that I'm just a stupid person who hates characters that can turn invisible, then comment about that too. Feed me, algorithm, Reddit karma, or whatever. Anyways, hope all of you guys have a great day. I'll see you all next time.